And the title for this is essentially unknown untraditional finance careers, right? So a lot of people that are in finance or that are trying to get into finance, the most common thing that you plan on doing is to be a financial analyst, right? This is where most finance people start their careers, right? And you can be a financial analyst in any industry pretty much. You can go to like the fast food industry, the construction industry. You can be in financial services industry, and you can work as a financial analyst, right? So this video is to have a list of the different finance careers that you can partake in. There should be a list somewhere on underneath this video, the description, so you can just see it. And I want to discuss these because I think these are some of the things that are undervalued, things that you might not know, but these are thriving careers, okay? Now, the first one is a financial life planner, okay? So, what is a financial life planner? So this is essentially, coaching pretty much, right? So I used to have this one-on-one thing where I would talk to finance majors that had questions, or if you just have questions about a finance career in general, because I've gone through the same thing, right? So I'm able to give you better advice than something you can find on the internet or something that you can learn from someone who has not gone through it. So that's one of the things that you can do. You can be a coach, a finance coach, whether you're coaching business majors that are in finance, or whether you're coaching business college graduates that are trying to start their career, or maybe you're coaching people that are in their entry level finance jobs and they are trying to move up or kind of like find direction in their career. So that's the first one. It's like financial life planner, right? So essentially you can be a coach for those things, and you can also even go into personal finance, right? Personal finance, you can be one of those people that's helping people reach their financial goals. Even with like, personal finance values, financial values, how to value money, how important is money to you, right? So you can be kind of like a coach that can, and it can be a coach within anything that is in finance, right? So, this is something that has the ability to turn into anything really. So if you like a subject in finance, you can be a coach for that, right? As long as you become the expert, because you actually have to have practiced it in order to coach someone on how to do it. Now you also have, this thing called a socially responsible investing advisor, or SRI. That's what they call it. In this day and age, you have companies that are investing more into their ESG score, which is essentially based on environmental and social and governance factors that are affecting companies, which is pretty much like ethical values. How ethical is your company? So that's where ESG scores come in. Now, companies are, pretty much like, trying to improve this score by participating in things such as not adding to global warming, being more, for the lack of a better term, I would say woke, right? Which is fine. You could do whatever you want to do, but this creates an opportunity for finance majors, right? You can become someone who is an advisor for that. And this is essentially someone who specializes in helping clients invest in socially responsible and sustainable companies, right? They can help clients understand their deep stated, was it, let's see here. That was something else actually. But essentially, they help companies, invest in socially responsible, sustainable companies, right? So if you can be someone who is representing an investor, right? Investors are trying to find companies that are socially responsible and, sustainable companies. Your job is to look for these companies, evaluate if these companies are actually worth it, right? And if they are, then your job is to advise the investor, or maybe you might be working for a company whose main goal is to acquire other companies. And if they're targeting, those companies that have, that are, socially responsible with the higher ESG scores, your job would be to go ahead and evaluate those companies. That goes into mergers and acquisition. But if you have the set of skill that involves analyzing companies that are invested in their own ESG scores, then that might be something that's for you. Now, you actually have something that's actually very interesting, which is a financial therapist. Okay. Believe it or not, this is a thing. So, financial therapists work with individuals and couples to address the emotional and psychological aspects of money management. Yeah, what else? They help clients understand their deep-seated beliefs and behaviors around money and guide them in making healthier financial decisions. So essentially, you are a financial advisor, but with a different type of title, right? So if you hear financial advisor, most people are like, yeah, I don't really want to use a financial advisor because blah, 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 blah. I can use an app that's going to help me save money, allocate money to different accounts. It's going to tell me how much I need to save, how much I need for retirement, how much my return on investment is going to be if I put money in this account. We have apps that tell us how to do that. So being a financial advisor isn't really the hottest thing to be in right now, but you do have financial therapists, okay? This is essentially the same thing, but instead of trying to teach people where to invest your money, what the return on investment is going to be, how to allocate their assets, you're not doing that. You are helping people understand the emotional and psychological aspects of money, right? And this is essentially letting people know that, even if you think about relationships in general, money is probably one of the biggest things that people break up over, people fight over, because money is important. As much as we want to ignore the value and importance of money in relationships, it is important. It's gonna affect a lot of things. So as a financial therapist, this is a huge opportunity for anyone to who understands finance, personal finance, and also understands something that's related to talking to people, psychology in general, how to communicate with these people. If you understand money, you are gonna do really well as a financial therapist. Okay, same thing as a financial advisor, but you're not actually giving investment advice. You're just making sure that people understand the value of money, or the emotional and psychological aspects of money management. Even teaching them how to manage money, how to create a budget, how to stick to that budget in general. So that's another opportunity for people that might are in finance, but they don't really want to do the heavy data work as like what a financial analyst would do. You are more of a people person. You like financial advising, but you really don't want to get into financial advising, so you can get into something like this, a financial therapist. Now, you also have another one that is not really that unknown, which is a fintech specialist. Okay, so fintech combines finance and technology, right? So you have people that are really, really good at finance, really good at reading the financial statements, really good at creating financial statements, really good at analyzing financial data. And you, on the other side, you have people that are really good at coding, computer programming, people that understand technology, all these different things that are technology related. Now, imagine if you had someone who had both skills. You have someone who's really good in finance, they also know how to program. Okay. Now, this is a skill that a lot of people do not have, because most people that are in finance, they're only focused on working on their finance degree, passing their finance classes, getting finance certifications, whether it's the CFA or something else. They're going to do that. It's not all the time that they are going to cross into learning how to program in Python, how to, do all these things that are tech related, and vice versa as well. People that are in tech, you're not really going to find people that are in tech that, know all these programming languages and how to do these different things in technology. And then they want to learn finance from scratch. You're not going to find those people. So if you have that skill of combining finance and technology, finance and your technology. You can become a specialist, right? That, that's going to help companies really combine those two things, right? And there's a growing demand for professionals who understand both finance and technology. Fintech specialists work for startups, established companies in the financial technology sector, focusing on areas such as digital payments, blockchain, robo advising, and artificial intelligence. They are using these people to build the programs you use that tell you how to save money, that tell you how much you need to have in retirement in order to have a monthly income of $2,000. These are people that understand finance in order to build technological products that are going to replace financial advisors and some other people, right? So if you have this skill, these industries are growing right now, right? You have, so many different apps that are popping up every day that are finance related. You have apps like Robinhood. You have apps like, imagine if you understand finance, right? Whether it's them implementing a 401k match or a Roth IRA, I think that's what they have, whatever they have. In order to build that technology, you have to understand finance, okay? And it's a lot easier for companies to have one expert that knows how to build the technology, and he also knows how to the finance aspect of it, right? Because it's all about perspective. So that's one thing. That's a really really special place. This is something that I'm actually really really interested in. And in order to kind of like get into that, I taught myself how to program in Python. Right. That is something that someone in finance can potentially use to get into these fintech places. Now, the next one is going to be a forensic accountant. Okay, this combines finance and accounting, but mostly finance. So, forensic accountants specialize in investigating financial fraud and analyzing complex financial data. They may work in collaboration with law enforcement agencies, legal teams, corporations to uncover financial irregularities, provide litigation support, and a whole bunch of other things. So, they're essentially investigators, but they focus on the money, right? You know what they say: to fix any crime or to solve any crime, follow the money. And these are the people that are going to follow the money, right? If there is money laundering, if there is, like terrorist financing or anything like that, they are going to be able to follow the money. When you have people that have complex networks of money laundering, a forensic accountant is going to be the person who is an expert at following the money. Now, the next one is going to be a financial blogger, podcaster, or YouTuber, which is pretty much what I kind of like do on the side. I post videos about finance majors, and other things that are related to finance on my YouTube, which makes money somehow. It does make money, not that much, but it does make money. This is a path that you can go into, right? Because if you understand what you are doing, why not teach other people? I went to college for finance, and I talk about my experiences with people that are in college or that are trying to go to college for finance. I'm planning on creating a course that's going to walk you through how to major in finance to how to get a job after you graduate or before you graduate in finance. Those are things that I have done, but I'm going to turn it into a career of teaching people how to do it. So that's one way you can go. This is something that a lot of people undervalue. I don't see a lot of people posting videos about this, about finance in general. They might talk about stocks or other things, but they don't talk about the finance major, the classes you're supposed to take. They don't talk about how to get your first job. They don't talk about how to move up the corporate ladder. They don't talk about the different paths that you can take when it comes to a finance major. Now, you also have something called an impact investment analyst. Okay. So whenever you work for a corporate company, and let's say, you are part of the, investments team, or a team that focuses on mergers and acquisitions and things like that, there's always an impact when there's an investment, right? So essentially, your job is to assess investment opportunities that generate both financial returns and a positive social and environmental impact. That is the textbook definition of what that is. But I'll tell you exactly what that is. So this will work for all types of firms, nonprofits, foundations that work for, maybe it's just a single project. Maybe you work as a consultant. Your job is to assess the financial impact of the investment that they're going into. Well, is there going to be a loss? Is it going to be profitable? Sometimes we might even go into how many people do we have to fire in order to not lose money in this merger or in this acquisition, right? So that's something that's really, really specialized. You can find these jobs on LinkedIn. It's really specialized, a really specialized position, and there's not really anything you can do in order to prepare for this in college. This is something that you learn on your own or you learn on the job, okay? You just need critical thinking skills to do, some of these things. Now, the next one is going to be a risk management consultant. So I actually did this. I worked at EY, one of the big four consulting firms and accounting firms, and I worked as a risk management consultant, which was my, I guess, like the higher title. And below that, well, my focus was essentially financial crimes, right? This is why earlier I was talking about money laundering, I was talking about terrorist financing, because these are the things that we were investigating. So I was kind of like in risk management where I would advise the banks. I can tell you I guess like the types of clients we're working with, but I can't tell you who the clients were. But we're working with banks, like really big banks and payment processors, in order to help them manage risk in terms of knowing who their customer was, right? Knowing where the money was going, if the money was going to a region that is marked as dangerous or suspicious, right? These are things that will help them manage and how to kind of like, go through different cases of, what might be fraud or anything like that. But essentially, this is risk management for the banks. But I focused on financial crimes. I was with the financial crimes unit that was helping these banks, kind of like follow the money. It's kind of like being a forensic accountant, but you work as a risk management consultant and you have your own focus. There are other people with different focuses within risk management, but my focus was financial crimes. And, not a lot of people know about this, working in risk management. And, there are some college finance classes that teach you risk management as well. I took a risk management class in college. It just teaches you how to assess risk, how to identify a risk, how to come up with a solution, how to brainstorm solutions, and how to even apply those solutions. It is an art when it comes to risk management. So you can look for, you're probably not going to find, jobs that are listed as risk management, but you might find something called credit risk analyst, right? That's something that falls under risk management. There's so many things that fall under risk management. So those were essentially, some of the unknown finance careers.